My ungrateful siblings called my house the Family Commune and tried to kick me out of it. So I sold it to a commercial developer and left them with nothing. ITA. I, 28M, am the middle child of 3. I have an older brother, Mark, 30M, and a younger sister, Chloe, 26F. Growing up, I was the invisible, reliable one. Mark was the firstborn prince who could do no wrong, and Chloe was the spoiled baby of the family. I was the kid who got hand-me-downs that were already ruined, worked a job at 15 to buy my own laptop for school, and paid my own way through a grueling degree in structural engineering. 2 years ago, our parents tragically passed away in a car accident. It was devastating. In their will, they left the family home, a beautiful, historic 5-bedroom house on a massive 3-acre lot in a rapidly developing suburb, to all 3 of us equally. Mark and Chloe instantly saw dollar signs. They wanted to sell it immediately. However, the housing market was in a brutal slump, and the house had a lingering $120,000 mortgage on it. If we sold it then, after taxes, agent fees, and clearing the mortgage, we would have walked away with maybe $40,000 each. I proposed a deal. I told them, look, I have a stable income. Let me move into the house. I will personally pay off the entire remaining $120,000 mortgage, handle all the property taxes, pay for the massive structural repairs it needs, and maintain it. You two can live here completely rent-free whenever you want to get on your feet. And in 5 years, when the market peaks and the surrounding area is fully developed, we sell it and split the massive profit 3 ways. We signed a legal contract detailing this. Mark and Chloe practically laughed all the way to the bank. They thought they had scored the ultimate golden ticket. A free place to live, 0 financial responsibility, and a guaranteed payout down the road. For the last 2 years, I poured my life into that house. I spent over $60,000 of my own hard-earned money fixing the roofing, upgrading the ancient plumbing, landscaping the 3 acres, and modernizing the interior. I also single-handedly paid off the mortgage. Meanwhile, Mark and Chloe treated the house like a luxury, all-inclusive resort. Mark moved his toxic, drama-loving girlfriend into one of the master bedrooms. They never bought groceries, never cleaned, and would blast music at 3 a.m. on weeknights when I had to be at a construction site by 6 a.m. Chloe used the guest house as a party pad for her college friends, leaving solo cups, garbage, and literal vomit on the porch for me to clean up. Whenever I asked them to do a single chore, like taking out the trash or mowing the lawn, they would roll their eyes. Mark actually told me, dude, chill out. This is the family commune. Stop acting like you own the place just because you do the paperwork. The entitlement reached a boiling point 3 weeks ago. Mark got his girlfriend pregnant, and Chloe dropped out of her master's program. They held a family meeting in the living room that I paid to furnish. I walked in, and they were sitting there with a smug look on their faces. Mark handed me a piece of paper. It was a letter drawn up by a cheap billboard lawyer. "What is this?" I asked. Chloe smirked. OP, Mark needs the space for the baby, and I'm moving back into my old room full time. There's no space for you anymore. Since we are the majority owners, 2 against 1, we are legally forcing you to vacate the property. We're taking over the house. I stared at them, completely stunned. Are you insane? I paid off the mortgage. I paid 60 grand in renovations. I pay the taxes. You two haven't contributed a single dollar. Mark laughed. Yeah, and we appreciate the free upgrades, bro. But according to the will, our names are on the deed. 2/3 beats 1/3. You have 30 days to pack your bags. We'll buy out your little investment when we eventually sell the place in a few years. A good brother wouldn't stand in the way of his future niece or nephew having a yard to play in. They genuinely thought they had trapped me. They thought that because they had a 2 against 1 majority, they could just evict the person funding their entire lives and live like royalty in a fully renovated, mortgage-free mansion. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just nodded, took the paper, and walked to my room. The next morning, I took our original three-way contract to my real estate attorney. I asked him a very specific question about a clause I had insisted on inserting 2 years ago, a clause my idiot siblings hadn't even bothered to read before signing. The clause stated, "If any co-owner initiates an involuntary partition or attempts to alter the primary residency status of another co-owner without unanimous consent, any owner reserves the right to immediately force a public auction or private buyout of the entire property to liquidate the asset." My siblings' legal threat to evict me was the exact trigger needed to activate that clause. But I didn't just want a standard auction. I wanted to destroy their fantasy. I knew that a major commercial developer had been buying up all the land surrounding our property to build a massive, high-density luxury apartment complex and shopping center. Our 3-acre lot was the final piece of the puzzle they needed, but they had never approached us because they thought we wouldn't sell the family home. I called the developer's acquisition VP directly. Within 48 hours, I was sitting in their corporate office. I showed them the deed, the contract, and the legal trigger my siblings had activated. The developer's eyes lit up. They offered a jaw-dropping $1.8 million for the property, cash. But there was a catch. The house would be completely demolished to make way for a concrete parking garage. I smiled. Deal. Because of the contract clause, my attorney filed an emergency petition for an immediate partition by sale. The court looked at the developer's massive cash offer, looked at my siblings' breach of the original residency agreement, and instantly approved the sale. Mark and Chloe didn't even get a say. They received a formal court order stating the house had been sold and the entire property was slated for immediate commercial demolition. The day the news broke, I was sitting in the kitchen packing my high-end coffee machine into a box. Mark and Chloe burst through the front door, screaming, crying, and shaking with pure rage. "What did you do?" Chloe shrieked, throwing her purse at the wall. "We got a letter from a construction company. They said we have to leave by the end of the month. You sold our parents' house." Mark lunged at me, his face purple. "You ruined everything. Where's my kid supposed to live? We had a legal right to this place." I stood up, completely calm, and handed them each a printout of the final closing settlement. "The house sold for $1.8 million, I said coldly. "After the court fees, attorney costs, and cutting out the $120,000 mortgage I paid off, which the court legally reimbursed entirely to me out of your shares, and the $60,000 in renovations I kept receipts for. You each get about $400,000, Mark scoffed. 400 grand? That's it? In this economy, we can't buy a house like this for that much. We wanted this mansion." "You wanted my mansion," I corrected him. "You wanted to live off my labor. Well, the family commune is officially closed. And by the way, you might want to look out the window." They both ran to the living room window. Standing at the edge of the driveway was a massive commercial truck dropping off a giant metal dumpster, followed by a foreman putting up a chain-link fence around the yard with a sign that read, "Future site of apartment complex parking structure." "You're letting them tear down our childhood memories?" Chloe sobbed, collapsing onto the floor. "You traded those memories the second you tried to make your brother homeless," I said. I grabbed my suitcase, walked past them without looking back, and loaded it into my car. Mark and Chloe are now completely cut off from me. They had to take their payouts and move into mediocre, overpriced 2-bedroom townhomes in a noisy part of the city. Mark's girlfriend is furious because they can't afford the lifestyle they envisioned. And they are already blowing through their inheritance money on rent and basic living expenses because neither of them has a real career. They tried to kick me out of my own home to live for free. Now they get to watch a bulldozer tear down their entitlement from the sidewalk. Was I wrong for destroying the family home? Or did they play stupid games and win stupid prizes?
Has anything like this ever happened to you? Tell your story in the comments. If you want more daily Reddit stories just like this, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what subreddit I should cover next in the comments. Stay tuned for the next story. Peace.